practicing assembly. If you are searching for the ancient path and teachings that are grounded solely in the Torah of Yahuwah, then feel free to join us. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.
Shabbat Shalom. All right. So, it is actually raining all around us, but we cannot feel it. And we don't know if it is the latter rain or is the former rain because we are so far removed from the culture. We don't know which is which, but we know that there is rain, eh? And we give thanks for the showers because it's been a hot day and one of the AC is not working. So we give thanks to Yahuwah. All right. So, today we continue with the calendar in quotation. We're going to look at the two chapters in the Bible that tells us our appointed times, Leviticus 23 and Numbers 28 and 29. That's 3 chapters actually. And we are going to see if we can identify some things and bring some clarity to these appointed times as it relates to how they are to be observed. I was having a discussion earlier. Somebody say, and I call nobody name. Somebody say, we know this already. That you preach about, we know it already. And I asked one question and the person couldn't answer. And I said, well, the sermon need to be preached. So when the stone throw the pig ball out, you know. Anyway. So what is the Sabbath? That is what I want to ask to start. What is the Sabbath? Shabbat. What is it? Day of rest. Right, people. 7th day. Somebody said day of rest. All right, so the Hebrew word Shabbat, Shin Betav, what does it mean? What is the meaning of the word Shabbat? And this brings back memories because 6 years ago, 2019, I was in America. Just met Natasha. We were sitting in a public area. At that time, she didn't know that I was scripturally inclined. You know, I have a thug image. Females always think me a bad man, a bad boy. So we were there sitting and talking, and we overheard a conversation over yonder. A young lady was telling some young men that the Sabbath, the word Sabbath means 7th day. She was vehemently defending it because she was telling them that they should keep the Sabbath, they should not worship on Sunday. And I just turned to Natasha and I said, it no means 7th day. And she said, oh, you know that? And I said, it no means 7th day. Just no say it no means 7 days. So I'm asking you now, what does Sabbath mean? I don't know if she remembers. Hopefully she does. Because that's the first interaction we would have had. Read Bible. So what does Sabbath mean? Huh? No? What does Sabbath mean? Day of rest? You sure? So when we look today, we're going to say day of rest in the definition for Sabbath? All right, what does the Torah say about the Sabbath day then? Since as you don't know what Sabbath means. Huh? It's the 7th day, so you work 6 days, and on the 7th day you do what? 7th day you rest. And which kind of work is you're not supposed to do? Sermon have to preach. Everybody says servile work, so the sermon is needed. The sermon is needed. When you hear about this servile, when you hear about servile work, so when you say a Sabbath it's set for. So we're going to go to the script. Because what you are doing now is regurgitating something that you have heard. You're not telling me what you have read. So you are regurgitating something that you have heard in the past, but you'd never see that in the script. So, topic for today, the Hebrew calendar revealed in the appointed times, in the Moedims. Very simple sermon. So the Hebrew word Shabbat means Shabbat. Ha. And when you go to the ancient Hebrew, what does it say? Ceasing. What is ceasing? Stop. So you stop from something. What do you stop from? Which work? We get less servile now because we laughed off a while ago. All right, I love it. Anyways, so it's a stopping of activity, often used for the seventh day or a special feast day as a day set aside for resting or celebrating. Exodus 16, verse 26, 6 days you shall gather it, but on the seventh day, which is the Shabbat, in it there shall be none. There's another word, Shabbaton or Shabbathon, right beside Shabbat. Shabbat is 76, Shabbathon is 76, 77. Shabbathon, according to them, it means Sabbath observance or Sabbatism. I don't know what that means. Some people say rest. It's a complete rest. Because remember, I tell you, if somebody said to you, shalom, shalom, what does that mean? Complete peace. In Hebrew, when you double up something, complete. So if me say, I don't remember the word for dead. For dead, but if I said dead, then it means that you're dead, you're complete dead. That's how we know that the Jamaicans are Hebrews originally. Dead like knit. And if I say life, then it's complete life. All right. So this word was used in Leviticus 25, verse 4. In the seventh year shall be a Sabbath of Shabbathon. So the script reads Shabbat, Shabbathon. Shabbat and Shabbathon unto the land. That is Leviticus 25, verse 4. Watch this now. Pay attention now. According to Brown Driver Briggs lexicon, the 76, that's a Sabbath, is used in reference to Sabbath, Day of Atonement, the yearly Sabbath, and a week. Just those four. What is missing in your head based on what? What were you told or what were you taught how many Sabbaths you have? How many Sabbaths we celebrate? 7 Sabbaths we celebrate. You have the weekly Sabbath and then you have the annual holy days. That's what we were told. That's all. But according to this here, is one annual holy day you see there, so which one? Atonement alone. So we have to check the script to see if I saw it go for true. That's all. The 76, 77, that is the Shabbathon, is only used in reference to the weekly Sabbath, the Day of Atonement, the sabbatical year, that is the year Sabbath, the land Sabbath, the Feast of Trumpets or Yom Teruah, first and last days of Tabernacles, and first and last day is not talking about first and 7, it's talking about first and 8th day. Them just call the entire thing Tabernacles. We know better. Anyways. I want you to take note now. Watch this. 76, that's the Sabbath, is used 111 times in the Hebrew scriptures. And I check all 111. And we're going to see the conclusion today. Because we check all 111. When we're going through scripture, we are very thorough. Doing a presentation on, wait name now, Trinity. And I'm looking at the word Elohim. You can imagine how many times that word is used in the script. So it's taking me some time to go through. Because that's how you have to be thorough when you're digging through the word, like the Bereans. 76, 77 is used only 11 times. And easily we check all 11. Quick and fast. So we're going to see what we're going to learn now. So the Moedims, Leviticus 23, we know where we go already, right? Leviticus 23 and Numbers 28. You see, I have them there together. In Leviticus 23, 1-2, it says, Yahweh spoke to Mashah, saying, Speak unto the children of Yisra'el, saying unto them, concerning the appointed times or the Moedims of Yahuwah, which you are shall proclaim to be holy assemblies. Even these are my appointed times. These are the things that you are going to proclaim to be holy assemblies. Mikra Kodesh, holy assembly. Numbers 28, 1-2. Yahweh spoke to Mashah, saying, command the children of Yisra'el, and you shall say to them, take heed, pay attention, right? To bring my offering, my food for my offerings made by fire as a sweet fragrance to me at their appointed time. So Numbers 28 tell you the offerings to carry. Leviticus 23 tell you the appointed times. Right? Lovely. We're going to look at them today. So firstly, Leviticus 23. Watch this carefully now. So this is the prescription for the Sabbath day. Weekly Sabbath. 6 days shall what be done? You see servile? Huh? Work. Be done. But the 7th day is the Sabbath. Shabbathon. So that is a complete rest, you know. Can you get 2 Shabbathon? That's all. A holy assembly, Mikra Kodesh. You shall do. Where's servile there? No one tell me say want to see servile. You shall do what? No work therein. It is the Sabbath of Yahuwah in all your dwellings. So the key information that we get from this here, Shabbathon, holy assembly, no manner of work. It not prescribe one type of work. He said no manner of work. No work. And it is also associated with 7. You work 6 days and you rest on the 7. So there's an association with the number 7. Follow me carefully now. Everybody follow that? Can we move on? All right. So for the 7th day Sabbath, the weekly Sabbath, it's a Shabbathon. That means complete rest. It is a holy assembly, so you must assemble. No work must be done. And there's an association with 7. We continue. Pesach and Matzot. These are the appointed times of Yahuwah, even holy assemblies. Mikra Kodesh, we see it again, which you shall proclaim in their appointed times. In the first renewal and the 14th day of the renewal, between the evenings is the Pesach to Yahuwah. Done. Nothing. We don't see anything about no Sabbath. We don't see anything about no Mikra Kodesh. We don't see no holy assembly. Right? That is just it for the Pesach. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of Matzah unto Yahuwah. 7 days you must eat matzah. In the first day you shall have a holy assembly. So we see the Mikra Kodesh now. And you shall do what? No what? Servile work. So now you see servile. In relation to what? No man. No servile work in relation to which of the appointed times? Unleavened bread. No sir. No servile work must be done therein. But you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah 7 days. And in the 7th day, again now, is a Mikra Kodesh, a holy assembly. You shall do what? No what? Servile work. Do you see the word Sabbath? No. You don't see the word Sabbath in relation to unleavened bread. It just says holy assembly on the first and the last day, first and 7th day, and no servile work. That is what we see in the script. We can't say anything else. We have to just work with what we see in the script. Want to follow me carefully? So, the key information for unleavened bread, holy assembly, no servile work, and no mention of Shabbat. Can we move on? All right, wave sheaf. Yahweh spoke to Mashah, saying, speak to the children of Yisra'el, and you shall say to them, when you come into the land which I give you and shall reap its harvest, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest. Ye shall wave the sheaf before Yahuwah for your acceptance. On the morrow after the Shabbat, the priest waves it. That is how you get Sabbath in this now. Not because it's a Sabbath day, but because it is used in reference to the Sabbath for you to know when you start your count. So follow carefully. On that day when you wave the sheaf, you shall prepare a male lamb a year old, a perfect one, as an ascending offering to Yahuwah. Its grain offerings, 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, and an offering made by fire to Yahuwah, a sweet fragrance, and its drink offering, 1/4 of a hin of wine. You do not eat bread or roasted grain or fresh grain until the same day that you have brought an offering to Yahuwah your Elohim, a law forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And from the morrow after the Shabbat, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, you shall count for yourself 7 completed Shabbats. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, you shall number 50 days. You shall offer a renewed oblation unto Yahuwah, and you shall proclaim on the 50th day that it may be a holy assembly unto you. You shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. So this day was not classified as a Sabbath again. And it said no servile work. And it said holy assembly. You following? So far, which day alone we see no work at all? Sabbath. Follow me carefully. Yom Teruah, or as we know it, trumpets, or as we were taught. Verse 24. Speak unto the children of Yisra'el, saying, in the 7th month, which month? 7th renewal, in the first day of the renewal, you shall have a what? Shabbaton. A memorial of blowing of shofars, a holy assembly. You shall do no servile work. Oh, now, sleep already? You shall do what? No servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. So, for this day, holy assembly, we see Shabbaton. You don't see Sabbath. You see Shabbaton. You don't see Sabbath. Thank you very much. And no servile work, right? You still following? You sure? Talk up, you know. Have we start over? Ball out no quick. Ball out no quick. Yom HaKippurim, Day of Atonement, Day of Covering. Watch it now. Watch this now. On the 10th day of which month? 7th month is Yom Kippurim. It shall be a holy assembly unto you. You shall afflict your souls, offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. You shall do what? No work. You see servile? No, this one say, no work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Shabbath, Shabbaton. So the Day of Atonement is a what? Complete rest. Shabbat, Shabbaton. And you realize, which other day you see Shabbat, Shabbaton for? The weekly Sabbath. And what the weekly Sabbath say about work? And what atonement say about work? No work. Right? Yes, baby, understand. No work. So when you see Shabbat, Shabbaton, you realize, you see, no work. You look at me say like you don't follow boss? Yeah. All right. So the key information for atonement, holy assembly, no manner of work, Shabbat, Shabbaton, and it is associated with 7 because it is the 7th of the listed appointed times in Leviticus 23, and it falls in the 7th month. And trumpets fall in the 7th month, so trumpets get a look of Shabbaton. Everybody following? So far. Better not stop follow. Sukkot. 34. Speak unto the children of Yisra'el, saying, the 15th day of the 7th month shall be the feast of Sukkot for 7 days unto Yahuwah. On the first day shall be what? Holy assembly. Mikra Kodesh. You shall do no servile work therein. On the 15th day of the 7th renewal, when you gather in the fruit of the land, celebrate the festival of Yahuwah for 7 days. Watch this now. On the first day is a Shabbaton. And on the 8th day, a Shabbaton. So on the first day you have a rest, and on the 8th day you have a rest. A Shabbaton. You see Sabbath? No. And it says servile work. See the 8th day there? 7 days. You bring an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. On the 8th day shall be a holy assembly unto you. You shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. It is a solemn assembly. You shall do no servile work. On the 15th day of the first, on the 15th day of the 7th renewal, when you gather in the fruit of the land, celebrate the festival of Yahuwah for 7 days. On the first day is a Shabbaton, and on the 8th day, a Shabbaton. What is the purpose of all of this? So I am telling you now that only one of the annual Moedims, or as we say, holy days, is a Sabbath. Not that you just say a while ago, or me say it. That you just say a while ago, don't. And if I can show you in Numbers 28 that it's the same thing, then you have your 2 witnesses. No, so? Do you mean by, you are the witness, man? If I can show you in, if I can show you in Numbers 28 and 29, the same type of rhetoric, then you have your 2 witnesses, and the matter is confirmed. No, so? All right, boss. So the proof is in the offerings. Numbers 28. Watch it. Command the children of Yisra'el, say to them, take heed to bring my offering, my food for my offerings, made by fire as a sweet fragrance to me at their appointed time. You shall say to them, this is the offering made by fire which you bring to Yahuwah. 2 lambs, a male, a year old, the perfect ones daily. So this is a daily sacrifice, right? 2 lambs daily. 1 lamb you prepare in the morning, the other one you prepare between the evenings. You're going to deal with him with 1/10 of an ephah of flour. We don't know if that is quarter pound, we don't know what it is, but it's a measurement. As a grain offering mixed with 1/4 of an hin of pressed oil. We don't know if a big jilla oil that, but it's a measurement. We don't know. It must be a continual ascending offering which was offered at Mount Sinai for a sweet fragrance, an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. And its drink offering, 1/4 of a hin for each lamb. Pour out the drink to Yahuwah as an offering in the set apart place. The other lamb you prepare between the evenings as the morning grain offering. So the same things that you do with the morning one, you do it with the evening one in the evening. That is clear, right? So these are the prescriptions for the daily sacrifices. 2 1-year-old lamb, 1/10 of an ephah of flour, 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil, or 1/4 in drink of offering for each lamb. Don't worry yourself. You soon see the point. Now to the Sabbath. Same Numbers 28, verse 9. On the Shabbat, the 76 now. Weekly Sabbath. 2 lambs of the first year without spot, 2 10 deals of flour for an oblation, mingled with oil and the drink offering thereof. This is the ascending smoke offering of every Shabbat. Of what? So as long as the day is classified as a Sabbath, this must be brought on that day. That is what we are seeing in the text, right? I mean, say it or so it say. This is the ascending smoke offering of every Shabbat. Every Shabbat, 2 lamb of the first year without spot, 2 10 deals of flour for an oblation mingled with oil, and the drink offering thereof. So you see, on every Sabbath, you are going to take these things that I just listed, along with the continual ascending smoke offering and this drink offering. So you see, because the Sabbath is a day, a regular day, just like every other day, and I gave you a prescription for daily sacrifices. It's when the Sabbath come, you're going to do the Sabbath sacrifices and the daily sacrifice. Everybody follow that? So yes, thank you. See there, 2 1-year-old lamb without blemish, 2 10 deal of flour mingled with oil, the drink offering, plus the daily sacrifice. So, if the annual days are Sabbaths, we must see the Sabbath prescription for the annual days. No, sir? We must see the Sabbath offerings being offered on the annual Sabbath, if they are Sabbaths. And if, as the lunar man said, that every 15th is a Sabbath. No, sir? And every 22nd. Then for the start of unleavened bread and the start of Sukkot, we must see the Sabbath offerings being brought because those fall on the 15th. No, sir? So if we don't see that, then it's trouble today. Numbers 28, we continue now to the new moon. And I'm going to show you how it works. Watch this. On the beginnings of your renewals, you must bring near an ascending offering to Yahuwah 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 lamb a year old perfect ones, 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil for each bull, 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil for the 1 ram. And you know why people don't get this thing and why people won't learn? Because when we get to these chapters in the Bible where these things are being listed, we zone out. When we get to the genealogy chapter, when they say, and this man begot this man, and this man begot this man, you zone out. And you just read because you want to say me complete the chapter. But that is the chapter that makes you understand who is who in the world today. Just like how these offerings make you understand the purpose of these days, and you don't incorrectly classify them in a category that they are not supposed to be in. You call that laziness. Watch this. Because I labor with this, so I sit down and pay attention because I have to sit down with my book and I have to write out the offerings, and that's why I end up and come up with the black screen and what you're going to see. To make sense of it. 13. And 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering for each lamb as an ascending offering of sweet fragrance, and offering made by fire to Yahuwah. And their drink offering is a half hin of wine for a bull, 1/3 of a hin for a ram, 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. This is the ascending, watch this now. This is the ascending offering for each renewal throughout the renewals of the year. So this must be brought 12 times, no sir? Or any amount of renewal you have. 1 million as a sin offering to Yahuwah is prepared along with the daily offering. So because the new moon day is a day, and we don't call it a non-day, we don't call it an unreckoned day, you must bring the daily sacrifices on that day as well. So what you call it? Double up. That's what you call it. Thank you. Everybody following so far? So we get our prescriptions for the new moon, the renewals. See them there? If you want to take a picture, please go ahead and take a picture so you can refer back to your photo when we are finished. So it's the new moon offerings plus the daily offerings. I'll give you some time to take a photograph so you can refer back to it when we get down into the nitty-gritty. Because we're going to end up with some questions at the end of the presentation that we have to answer next week. Or if you want, I can send the presentation to you and you screenshot the pages. I can send it in the group if you'd like. Can send it all right now too. So that is the prescriptions. Those are the prescriptions for the new moon. The new moon offerings, and I list them out over here, plus the daily offering. Continue now in the chapter. Verse 16. In the 14th day of the first renewal is the Pesach of Yahuwah. In the 15th day of this month is a feast. 7 days shall matzah be eaten. When we were in Leviticus 23 a while ago, we saw that holy assembly for unleavened bread. No servile work. And we not mention a Sabbath, right? So we're supposed to say the same thing for the two witnesses to coincide, no sir? In the first day shall be a holy assembly. You shall do no manner of servile work. So it seems good so far, eh? And it done the same, no. Now it going to tell you the sacrifices, no. So we still don't see a mention of Sabbath. You shall bring near an offering made by fire as an ascending offering to Yahuwah, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones they are for you. Their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil. Prepare 3/10 of an ephah for a bull, 2/10 for a ram. Prepare the 10th of an ephah for each of the 7 lambs. 1 goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. And prepare these along with the ascending offering of the morning, which is for a continual ascending offering. So I tell you which one of the daily sacrifices you must bring it with. Because remember, it's 2 daily sacrifices. You know? 1 lamb prepare in the morning, 1 prepare between the evenings. This one tell you now, so you must carry this offering for the first day of unleavened bread with the morning daily sacrifice. Very clear instructions, right? Very important chapter. You won't find on YouTube anybody teaching feast day. And they use Numbers 28 and 29. You can't find it. And if you find it, you can come show me. Let me get to watch it. Because me search. And it's laziness cause it, as I said. So, according to these, it continues, you are to prepare the food of the offering made by fire daily for 7 days, as a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. It is prepared beside the daily sacrifice. And on the 7th day, you shall have a holy assembly. You shall do no servile work. And the command done this for the first and last day of unleavened bread. We don't see a mention of Sabbath. We just see no servile work. And we see holy assembly. Right? Now, if the first day and the last day were Sabbath, then the command should have said, bring these along with the Sabbath ascending offerings and the daily ascending offerings. Don't. But you don't tell us that. So because the script in Leviticus 23 and in Numbers 28 don't tell us that it is a Sabbath and it don't prescribe that you carry Sabbath sacrifices, then we must come to the conclusion that the days are not what? They are not Sabbaths. And no me say it. Watch it. Leviticus 23. Numbers 28. In the day of Bikur, 26. When you bring a renewed offering unto Yahuwah, in your Shavuot, in your weeks, you shall have a holy assembly. So we see holy assembly again. You shall do no servile work. You shall bring near an ascending offering as a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 lambs a year old, with their grain offering. Chapter 29 now, because chapter 28 finished. So chapter 28 seemed to be a nice little second witness, right? No, sir. One man answer. No? Chapter 28 is a good witness. So we're going to check if chapter 29 continue in the same vein. So we all right so far with Sabbath, with unleavened bread, with Shavuot. We have to check now trumpets, atonement, tabernacles, and 8th day. In the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a holy what? Assembly. You shall do no servile work. It is Yom Teruah unto you. It is day of alarm, day of shouting, day of acclamation. You shall prepare an ascending offering as a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah, 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 lamb, a year old, perfect ones. And you can compare them when you're ready. You're going to realize that Shavuot and unleavened bread carry the same amount of bull and the same 7 lamb and the same 1 ram. But when you get down into the 7th month, now it's 1 bull and 1 ram and 7 lamb. You can't ask me why. I don't see it there in the text. I just notice and I observe and I say, all right. Anyways. Their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. These must be brought. Watch this now, because this day is when? The first day of when? 7th renewal. And the first day is considered what? Talk to me now. Sure. Me like when them bright, you know. What is the first day called? New moon, or what we say it name? Renewal. The first of the renewal. Right? New moon. And we did see something about new moon earlier where you must carry on the new moon day. So if this day is a new moon day, then when we read it, we must see it ask you to carry them things that we just list out, as well as new moon sacrifices. And the daily. Thank you very much. All of these you are going to bring along with the ascending offering with its grain offerings for the renewal and the daily sacrifice, brethren. So if it was a Sabbath, he would have to say, and the Sabbath sacrifice. So see it there? This now, what you call this now? Because you call the other one them double up. What you call this now? Talk to me now, boss. Quick and fast when we get to go back up now. Triple up. Thank you, thank you. So we have triple up. Watch this now. Everybody follow? Lovely. Yom Kippur. Verse 7 of chapter 29. You shall have on the 10th day now of the 7th month a holy assembly. You shall afflict your soul. Same way we see it in Leviticus 23. You shall not do any work. Now same way we see it in Leviticus. Leviticus, when it comes to atonement, him no mention servile. Him just said no work. You shall bring near an ascending offering to Yahuwah, sweet fragrance. 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 lamb, perfect ones they are for you. The grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lamb. 1 male goat as a sin offering, beside, along with the sin offering for atonement, because every day is atonement. Atonement go on every day in Yisra'el. And the daily sacrifices. So what you call this now? Triple up. Thank you. Triple up. So if it was a Sabbath day, he would have to tell us the Sabbath day. Because remember, no Leviticus call it a Shabbat. Shabbat on him, no call it Sabbath alone. Because it's 1 day alone can classify as Sabbath. And it's the weekly Sabbath. Any other Sabbath is either Shabbaton or Shabbaton alone. But not Sabbath. I want you to follow me carefully. So see it there? Plus the atonement sacrifice, plus the daily sacrifice. Sukkot now, whole heap of excitement for Sukkot. And Rash go through this one couple of years ago when him show you the amount of things we have to carry. And I think one of the number go down as the days progress. Make we look at it. Sukkot, first day. On the 15th day of the 7th month, you shall have a holy assembly. You shall do what? No servile work. No, the same thing Leviticus tell us. And you shall keep a feast unto Yahuwah 7 days. On the 15th day of the 7th renewal, you have a set apart gathering. You do no servile work. You shall celebrate a festival to Yahuwah 7 days. You shall bring near an ascending offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. 13 young bull, 2 ram, and 14 lamb. A year old, perfect ones they are. Their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 lambs, 2/10 for each of the 2 rams, and 2/10 for each of the 14 lambs. So this comes like seasoning and recipe in the virgin. The man said each lamb must get 2/10 of an ephah of flour when you rub him down. So you need 13 2/10 of an ephah. A recipe you get in the virgin. Recipe. Big chef. Big chef I give you a recipe. I say work. Can you know say a man like me and Yahazi? No, Yahazi can't cook. Me can't cook. I'll baby a laugh. 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs. 1 male goat as a sin offering. So you always have a little male goat as a sin offering. Catch up on the side over your side, brethren. You have to have that, you know. Because we have to deal with the sin before we deal with the boss. No say go. Yes, man. Along with the daily sacrifices. So it's a regular day. Well, not a regular day, but it's not a Sabbath. So see there, 13 bull, 2 ram, 14 lamb, all of the excitement, plus the daily sacrifice. Second and third day, we not going to have to read this now. We don't have to read it. See the graphic here? Now we're gone to 12 bull. Same 14 lamb, plus the daily sacrifice. Third day, 11 bull. Same 14 lamb, plus the daily sacrifice and the goat for the sin offering. We now left out the goat for the sin offering. And the fourth day, 10 bull. 14 lamb, the 2 ram, the goat for the sin offering, and the daily sacrifice. On the fifth day, 9 bull, 2 ram, 14 lamb, 1 goat for the sin offering. On the sixth and the seventh day, 8 bull now, 14 lamb, 1 goat for the sin offering, and the daily sacrifice. Yes, you notice how we're going through. How many days we're going through? No, sir. 8 days we are going through, you know. Watch it now, you know. We are going through 8 days. So, no, man, 8 days we are going through, man, because 8 consecutive days we have where we're there one place. Gather up. Tabernacles is 7, but we are at the place for 8 days. Follow me now. If the man them said the Sabbath fixed, brethren, then if the Sabbath is fixed, one of these days Yahweh would have to say, carry the Sabbath sacrifice. So if him don't say it, then it means that the Sabbath is not fixed according to the moon. You follow me, boss? You sure? Me not like how you're looking at. Precisely because this thing here is working off the renewal. And it's counting from the renewal. So if the Sabbath works off the renewal as well, then at some point in this 8-day period, you must have a Sabbath. And the Sabbath is fixed in that 8-day period. And he would have to say, carry the Sabbath sacrifice. And so far, we have got through, we reach where? 6th day. All right. 1 goat, 8 bull, 2 ram, 14 lamb. The goat for the sin offering, daily sacrifice. 7th day, 7 bull, 2 tabernacles done now, you know. 7 bull, 2 ram, 14 lamb, 1 goat for the daily sacrifices. So tabernacles done, because you get your 7 bull now. We're going back down to normal now because the 8th day are different business. Because if the 8th day again now, rush, you can't put this in your paper when you send it up to CJ and give you more evidence now. Watch this now, Rash, because you see, if the 8 days attached to the tabernacles, as them say, great last day, then him should have tell with 6, no say go, because we are countdown. So he must tell with 6. But look at himself for the 8th day. 1 bull, because you're going back to normal now. Different feast this, different appointed time this. Rash know them thing here from long time. We just give more text views when you send up in paper. Pick up. Yeah, and when you're ready to send me up on the map program. What? 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 1-year-old lamb without blemish, one goat for the sin offering plus the daily sacrifice. So we have not seen throughout these 8 days where Yahuwah said, carry the Sabbath sacrifice. We don't see it, right? So that means that the Sabbath is not fixed according to the renewal of the moon. We have to come to that conclusion. But you love jump up on lunar Sabbath people who have some business to start out for yourself. We have to deal with that now. Leave people business alone and worry about our business. Because we have some business to sort out ourselves. On the Sabbath, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, 2 10 days of flour for an oblation, all of the excitement. Continual ascending smoke offering and his drink offering. Yahuwah closes in the two books, Leviticus 23 and 29. Leviticus 23, 37, these are the appointed times of Yahuwah which you shall proclaim to be holy assemblies, to offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah, an ascending smoke offering and an oblation, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day. So everybody have them own thing that you carry on the day. Everything you carry on the day when it's supposed to carry. And him said, besides, because remember I showed you last week, we're in verse 1 to 3, him tell us that these are the ones which you are to proclaim to be holy assembly. And then in verse 4, him say, these now you're going to proclaim in their appointed time, because the appointed time there is in relation to the moon. So when him done 38 now, when him finish in 37, you know, him done deal with the moon ones, and him gone back now from upper verse 1 now, in 38. And that's why him say, besides, so these ones are the days that you proclaim in your appointed times, aside from the Sabbath. So that means that they're not Sabbaths. And it's there clear in the text. Besides the Sabbath. And we don't see where it called one of them Sabbath. So it makes sense why him say beside the Sabbath. Numbers 29:39. These you prepare to Yahuwah at your appointed times, beside your vowed offerings and your voluntary offerings, and all the excitement. And quickly we look at the land Sabbath before we close, because we don't plan to stay here long today. Today we want to get a break because next week I'm going to kill you. Leviticus 25, the land Sabbath. We have to look at it because it is the other Shabbat, Shabbaton. Verse 2, speak unto the children of Yisra'el and say unto them, when you come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath. The keep there is 76, 73. That word is actually Shabbat. So you should read the land shall Shabbat. But then put keep. The land shall have a complete rest, Yahuwah is saying. Unto Yahuwah. 6 years you shall sow your field, 6 years you shall prune your vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Shabbat, Shabbaton, unto the land. A Shabbat for Yahuwah. You shall neither sow your field nor prune your vineyard. That which grows of its own accord of your harvest you shall not reap, neither gather the grapes of your vine undressed, for it is a year of Shabbaton unto the land. And the Shabbath of the land shall be food for you and for your servant, for your maid, for your hired servant, for your stranger that sojourns with you. You shall number 7 Shabbats of years unto you, 7 times 7 years, and the space of the 7 Shabbats of years shall be unto you 49 years. So the land Sabbath is a Shabbat, Shabbaton, and based on what we see, no work in terms of the land must be done. It not say no servile, it just say no do no work on the land. Simple, right? Makes sense. Everything in line. Conclusion. You never believe me. Think me a trick or no? Important points. Shabbaton means to observe rest. The 76, 77 means to have a rest. Relax yourself. But that don't give us much information on. Because your rest and my rest might be 2 different rests. Your rest, you might feel like when you go and you fix 2 TV, you fix a washing machine, arrest because normally you would fix about 15 machines for the day and about 120 TV. Don't. So when you go easy now, I look arrest that. My arrest probably I just sit down and watch the TV where you fix for the whole day and not do nothing at all. Right? But we can't leave it like that. Shabbaton means complete rest. That sounds like nothing at all. That sounds serious. That sounds like you can't even lift up your hand too much. Anyways, all Shabbats are Shabbaton. All of them. Yeah, man. All Shabbat, the weekly Sabbath, are Shabbaton. Complete rest. That's all. But not all Shabbatons are Shabbats. Right? Because we see Teruah is a Shabbaton. First and 8th day in the 15th, in the 7th month, Shabbaton. And yeah, those are the Shabbatons. Shabbaton is only commanded for the fall appointed times, brethren, the ones that come in the 7th month in the fall season. Now that we see. So far. All right, you go and go look further and see if you find something else. And no rest or ceasing is commanded for any of the spring appointed times. And by rest and ceasing, I mean 76:76 and 76:77. Shabbat or Shabbaton for the spring appointed times. That is just what we saw there in the Torah. What if I tell you that when you check the 111 times the word Shabbat is used, it is never used in reference to tabernacles, to unleavened bread, to Shavuot, to Passover, to Teruah, to 8th day, just atonement and Sabbath, and the land Sabbath. The 111 times. If you don't believe me, you can check it yourself. So 76:76 is used in reference to the weekly 7-day Sabbath, the land Sabbath or the Sabbath of years, and the Day of Atonement. That is what we saw. Shabbaton is used in reference to the same things, the weekly 7-day Sabbath, the land Sabbath, and the Day of Atonement. The word Shabbaton now is used in reference to the weekly Sabbath because it says you must have a complete rest, a Shabbaton. It is used in reference to the land Sabbath because it said the land must have a Shabbaton, complete rest. It is used in Yom Teruah because it said you must have a Shabbaton, a rest. It is used in Yom HaKippurim because it said you must have a Shabbaton, complete rest. It is used for the first day of Sukkot because it said have a Shabbaton, a rest. And it is used for the 8th day assembly because it said you must have a Shabbaton, a rest. None of these terms are for Shabbat are used in reference to the spring Moedim or appointed times because these appointed times represent the beginning or the start of the year or the appointed times or the redemption process. Because when you check the word Sabbath, brethren, and this is me trying to make sense of it. I might be wrong. It's when you dig down the word Sabbath, it comes from Shebi. Shebi means 7. So Sabbath is directly associated with 7. The spring Moedims, them coming at the first renewal. No 7 not involved in that, other than the fact that unleavened bread are 7 days. Are the only 7 you find. But when you go down now, I remember 7 mean completion too, you know. That's how we learn. 7 mean completion. And spring is the start. It's not no completion. Spring at the start. Shabbaton, you must note well that all the fall appointed times are in the 7th month. Thus they are all Shabbaton, because them associated with 7. Yom Teruah, Yom HaKippurim, Sukkot, and the 8th day all points to the completion of Yah's plan. Completion. completion of our appointed times, completion of the season, completion of our calendar. Because after that, we don't have no more days to look forward to more than the next year. That's how it works in Israel, you know. After the 8th day, you don't have no more day to look forward to other than the next year again. New year. The weekly Sabbath is the 7th day of the week. And the weekly Sabbath points to the completion of work and an eternal rest or complete rest. It is the original and only Sabbath, 76, as by itself, it refers only to the 7th day of the week. So if you see Sabbath by itself, it can only refer to the 7th day of the week, because the land Sabbath, him tell us say Shabbat, Shabbaton. And atonement is Shabbat, Shabbaton. Once you see Sabbath by itself, in the script, in the Hebrew scriptures, Sabbath, Sabbaton, is the weekly Sabbath it making reference to? You have to go all the way to the New Testament, where there's a lot of controversy over those writings, to find where they mention Sabbath in relation to unleavened bread only. And it's the time when Yahusha was being crucified. And the way that the word is used in the text, you can't even definitively say that they were saying the Sabbath. Because how the Greek word Shabbaton is used, it is used in relation to a week. It is used in relation to a week. So even when you're reading and you hear them say, Mary, get up on the first day of the week, another man can look at the Greek and translate it a different way, based on how it is worded. Because week is not there, Shabbaton is there. So some people read it and actually get on the first Sabbath. If you are going to say that the Greek word Shabbaton is a direct translation for the Hebrew 76, there's a lot of confusion. That's why I say there's a lot of confusion around it. We at this assembly we work what we find in the original script, in the Torah. And that's why John, in his gospel, John said for that was a high Sabbath. Different business that anyways. I tell you what we find in the Torah. That is what I'm working with. So we don't find in the Hebrew scriptures from Matthew go to Malachi. We don't find Sabbath from Genesis to Malachi. Thank you, sir. We don't find Sabbath making reference to any of the annual appointed times by itself. Only atonement. And in that case, you find Shabbat, Shabbaton. Atonement is the 7th appointed time listed. And it points to the completion of redeeming mankind. Or so we think. That is complete rest. The land is to observe its Sabbath every 7th year. That is a relation to 7. The land Sabbath is representative of the fulfillment or completion of the promised rest to Israel. That is Shabbat, Shabbaton. That is a complete rest. Last slide now, and we finish. There are 3 Shabbats. And there are also only 3 Shabbat, Shabbatons, one and the same. Atonement, the land Sabbath, and the weekly Sabbath. All the appointed times are holy assemblies. Follow now. Because that is what we see for all of them. Have a holy assembly. All the appointed times are holy assemblies. All the fall Moedims are Shabbaton. Every single one of them. Shabbaton is used in reference to them. The ones that fall in the 7th renewal. Only the weekly Sabbath, the land Sabbath, and the atonement are Shabbats and Shabbat, Shabbaton. This does not change the way we observe these days. It changes how we identify them. And now the question is, if you have no work over here, so, and when you come over here, so you have no servile work, that is 2 different categorization, eh? It is 2 different classification. Remember I say, your idea of rest and my idea of rest may be 2 different things. So it cannot be left up to your interpretation and my interpretation, because we are both going to come to 2 different interpretations. You are going to get up and go cut bush, get goat. When you feel like it's no survival work. And me probably say, me I go do X, Y, and Z when it say no work. It can't live up to our interpretation because that is chaos. That is Babylon. So I am telling you now that when Yahweh say you must have a Shabbaton, we don't know what Shabbaton mean. We don't know what it mean. We mean rest. What is rest? How you rest? That left to interpretation. I am saying to you now that the classification that we have to know which rest is which rest is the difference between follow, man. The servile work and the regular work. That is how we're going to know how to rest and which of the days. So next week now, Yah's willing, we're supposed to can clarify what is servile work and what is regular work. So if that means then that when we're done, we say we can cook for unleavened bread and for rare, we rejoice. And we say, yeah. Right? So next week now, we're going to clarify the difference between work and servile work. Outside of these days, we have no calendar, brethren. I thank you very much.
We give thee thanks and we give thee praise, O Yahweh. You are our Heavenly Father. You are the one who wake us up. You are the one who put us to sleep. You are the one that take us safely through the week and each day. O Abba, we give thee thanks for your manservant who puts the work in to deliver unto your people, O Yah. O Yahweh, we still look forward for the upcoming and the next Sabbath to learn even in more details what we can and what we can't. Oh yeah, help us that when we learn what we can and what we can't, we will abide by your rules and your regulation. Oh Abba, we put him who deliver unto your people, oh yeah, in your hands. Oh yeah, continue to lead and guide each and every one of us. Continue to help us to continue to have that opening mind or hearts, leaning upon your understanding, oh Abba. Oh Abba, as we are here, diving into your words, not only to just hear and say it sounds good, but yeah, we know that your words will lead us into kingdom. And as we continue on this journey, as we are in your fourth week of Shavuot, Father Yah, we continue to count to lead up to that day, that great day, oh yeah. So yeah, continue to help us and give us the strength and continue to give us the understanding to continue to even believe in you, oh Abba. Because Abba, you are our sustenance from now until forever. Abba, as we are here, continue. We pray, dear Abba, that the upcoming week that is coming up ahead of us, dear Father, yeah, you continue to protect us. You continue to guide us each day as we go out on that road, dear Father, yeah. And Father, yeah, we continue to put everyone and each one in your hands that you may continue to cover us under your wings, oh Abba. As this day is boiling down, dear Abba, we give thee thanks and we pray that that lunch that is prepared for us, dear Father, that the hands that stretch forward to prepare it, Father, yeah, will continue to do your work, and that the hands may not go weary of doing it, Father, yeah. And Father, yeah, continue to help us to be a people that is understanding, a people that will hear and understand what we are doing, and let any malice or any thing that is not of you, Father Yah, we can sweep it out and we can brush it away and we can look to you and say, Abba, give our hearts that tender rest that needed. Oh, Abba, as we are about to go again, we pray that you may continue to keep us under your wings. We pray that you may guide us each day. We pray that you may be in front of us at each time, even though, Father Yah, but Father Yah, help us to be still and in confidence of you. All these we ask of you through your Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom to you all, those who are here, those who join on YouTube. We are thankful that you have joined us, and we trust that you have learned something. Yeah, you have much to learn. I advise that you go over the video, the presentation, and be very keen and focused as you listen. Um, much would have been brought out, but it is simple, but you have to listen and watch carefully. All right. So thank again, our dear brother, for work done. We thank Yah for his leading and his direction as we seek the 18th part, as we seek to learn and to know the word, because we are so far removed from the land and from the culture, from the teachings, that we have learned all sorts of garbage. Garbage in, and we have to get the garbage out so that we know exactly what is. So thank you again for coming out. Please stand where are as we dismiss. We continue to count the weeks. We are at week of 7, and on the morrow after the 7th, we have a holy convocation to vote. Yahuwah blesses you and keeps you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lifts his countenance upon you and give you his peace.